So Democrats are still as desperate as ever, and they've resorted to their tried and true method of sing-song protests and performative nothing burgers. Our boy Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, Timu Obama, and beady-eyed Cory Booker staged a 12-hour protest, if you want to call it that, sitting on the Capitol steps and ranting about God knows what. It goes without saying they made a complete fool of themselves, so I know you guys are gonna love that. But also a joint sting operation between ICE and DEA busts an illegal nightclub in Colorado that is frequented by MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Sinaloa cartel, and they arrested over 100 of these illegal immigrants, as well as 12 active duty US service members who were working as armed security. That story is crazy. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but we have to start with Hakeem Jeffries, Dollar Tree Obama, channeling his inner Biggie Smalls and giving us a nice, rap on the steps of the Capitol.
We've got to press on for our children. Press on for our seniors. Press on for our dreamers. Press on for our veterans. Press on for Medicare. Press on for Social Security. Press on for Medicaid. Press on for working families. Press on for the middle class. Press on for the poor. Press on for the sick. Press on for the afflicted. Press on for the least. Press on for the lost. Press on for the left behind. Press on for social justice. Press on for racial justice. Press on for economic justice. Press on for freedom. Press on for democracy. Press on until victory is won. God bless you.
So what I got from that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they basically just want to uphold the status quo. The Republicans ran on changing the status quo, and that's why they got such overwhelming support from the American people. And because Democrats benefit greatly from the corrupt status quo, their platform is about fighting Trump and obstructing his agenda. They don't have any plans or any ideas for how to satisfy the wants of the American people in their own different way. Their goal is to try to demonize what Trump is doing and change the perspective of the American public, and hoping that they'll want to keep the status quo, because if the Democrats say that the alternative is much more destructive, then people will choose the safer route that has been screwing us over and enriching Democrats for the past, 50 years. But Hakeem does not stop there. He continues to channel his inner Shakespeare, such a creative and intelligent orator, a linguistic genius, a rhetorical mastermind. Here he is talking about how bad Republicans are in slam poetry form.
It's interesting. The question that I think we all have to ask is, are we serving with people who pray on Sunday, P-R-A-Y, and then come to Washington to prey on the American people the rest of the week, P-R-E-Y?
So instead of telling the American people, here's how we would reduce government waste and corruption, here's how we would do deportations, here's how we would reorganize trade deals, here's how we would end the war in Ukraine and Russia, here's how we would stop men from competing in women's sports, Hakeem thinks it's satisfactory to explain to grown adults that there's two ways of spelling pray and they have two different meanings. The amount of intellectual disrespect the Democrats have for people is astonishing. It's like they assume people are going to hear a word play and be like, that's the guy I'm voting for. I'm sold. It's the same kind of condescending arrogance that led Kamala Harris to changing her accent for whatever crowd she was in front of, bringing Megan Thee Stallion to come twerk for black folks in Atlanta, because in her mind, it was black people are too stupid to understand my plan and to know the details. Instead, we're gonna give these dumb black people what they like, some ass shaking. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me, but hey, continue doing whatever you guys are doing. Now, Cory Booker joins the ridiculousness. You know he couldn't allow himself to be left out. Here he is talking about how great of a religion Islam is, because yeah, that's what America is, a country full of Islamists.
First of all, my favorite Muslim poet was a man named Muhammad Ali.
Ooh,
and that great poem, two words, me we.
Woo!
But it actually reflects an ideal within Islam of the oneness of humanity.
Absolutely.
That there may be different faiths.
Sure.
But there's a oneness in humanity.
Yeah.
What you do to another, you do to me.
That's right.
That's a very big part of the faith, yes?
It is.
I have no gripes with Muhammad Ali, excellent boxer, great civil rights activist. But if your bar of profoundness is me, we, that's like when your 5-year-old brings you home a picture that they drew in class and you cheer them on and you celebrate them and you hang it on the fridge because you want to improve their self-esteem and build their self-confidence, even though everybody knows this is not a work of art. And I love how they're supporting Islam, even though Islam completely contradicts all of the positions that the left holds. LGBTQ rights, women's rights, social freedoms, religious freedoms, soft on crime. I mean, if you get arrested for doing something in Dubai, you're absolutely screwed. But Democrats will love to point at places like Dubai or Japan and say, oh, it's so clean, it's so peaceful, it has such low crime. If only the United States had that, but then they're completely against any kind of strict application of the rule of law, especially when it comes to them. Now, a Democrat protest wouldn't be a Democrat protest unless it broke out in sing-song. So let me show you that part.
You know the song from the beginning. I will build this world from love. Yada da 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 yada da da. And you must build this world from love. Yada la 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 yada la la. And if we build this world from love, yada da 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 yada da da. Then God will build this world from love. Yada la 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 yada la la.
This is how Democrats are able to maintain their delusional worldview that they're the kind, loving, compassionate ones. Their whole philosophy is acceptance has no bounds. And if you don't agree with their philosophy of unlimited acceptance, that means you're a fascist Nazi who doesn't believe in human rights or something. Like, oh, how dare you not let this man think that he's a woman and go change in the woman's bathroom? What a bigot. How about you just love people? How about you just accept them? Let them be who they want to be. Oh, how dare you criticize teachers explaining the wonders of love and acceptance and people come in all different ways to children so they can grow up to be more accepting of diversity and the differences. And if you don't believe in that, you're intolerant. Oh, how dare you don't think that all these poor, sad, downtrodden brown people shouldn't be allowed to illegally break into our country and stay here forever, seeing as the United States is wholly responsible for the destabilization of every single country on earth. They're able to manipulate any situation and look at it through a lens of they're the good guys. I mean, it's certainly not the right who's trying to rename pedophilia to minor attracted persons because, oh, gee, shucks, it's offensive and stigmatizing. Yes, things are objectively bad and should be stigmatized. We on the right live in the real world and understand that there is reality, there is morals, there is good and bad, there is wrong and right. And we're not willing to give that up to live in the left's world where nothing is wrong, everything is just on a spectrum. There are varying degrees of differences. Nothing is wrong. Things are just different, and you should be accepting of these differences. It's just textbook psychological manipulation and gaslighting. Now on to this insane story about this sting operation in Colorado. Take a look at this video of ICE busting and raiding this illegal nightclub. It is wild. Now, this illegal nightclub has been running for a very long time. It is run by illegal gang members who are engaging in prostitution, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and these are the kind of situations that are popping up all thanks to Joe Biden. Remember when the reporter who was talking to JD Vance said, oh, well, it's only a few apartment complexes that have been taken over by Tren de Aragua? I bet the left's defense of this situation would be, oh man, well, they only busted one illegal nightclub engaged in all of this heinous criminal behavior. Let's listen to Pam Bondi talk about this bust and explain just how complicit the Biden administration was in allowing this to continue. Watch.
America is safer tonight thanks to Donald Trump. Last night, Brian, what they did, to back up, during the Biden administration, they received 170 911 calls to that club alone. That club we were just watching, 170 calls. Wouldn't you think that would have been a red flag?
Wouldn't.
Nothing happened. Guns, shootings, ag batteries, nothing happened. So under Donald Trump, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, ATF, ICE, everyone went in together. DEA led this investigation, went in, got 115 illegal immigrants, aliens in our country, arrested them, 2 with warrants, 12 guns seized. So what would happen in this club is you would go in, security would give you a menu of drugs, cocaine, there's something new called pink cocaine, meth, you could go in a bathroom stall, get that, there was prostitution, all these things going on. And we just now identified a member of Sinaloa cartel was also in there.
And that's the whole funny thing about the left's constant prioritization of acceptance. We used to believe immigrants had a duty to assimilate to American culture. Now, the left's philosophy is, why would they ever assimilate to American culture? What are you, a racist? And because of that, they basically imported tens of millions of people who don't speak our language, have no respect for the rule of law or our customs. They've brought with them all of the same bad habits, bad behaviors, commitment to a life of crime and violence, and just set up shop in the United States where, hey, they get free healthcare and they get free housing and free food and free education. From the illegals' perspective, you can totally see why they would want to come here. And the fact that this place had received multiple police reports for criminal activity, for shots being fired, and only now it was busted, shows you that there's probably local government officials or members in the police force who are also complicit. Again, just another example of these illegal immigrants bringing their old behaviors into the United States. Bribery is the law of the land in these places. And so they just apply the same strategy here. Now, the most chilling thing, in my opinion, about this whole bust was over a dozen active U.S. service members were also arrested. Listen to this DEA spokesperson talk about this.
What was happening inside was significant drug trafficking, prostitution, crimes of violence. We seized a number of guns in there. We had active duty service members who were running security at the club and involved in some of these crimes. And in fact, we had over 100 illegal aliens inside as well, and those over 100 illegal aliens were taken into custody by ICE.
Active duty service members helping as security here. Can you elaborate on that at all?
So it's an ongoing investigation, but we had over a dozen active duty service members in the club tonight, either as patrons or working as armed security.
This is so scary because it's a small example of what has to be a much larger problem. How many of our US service members are compromised? This reminds me of the secret Chinese police department that was found in New York City. The previous administration actively engaged in destabilizing our country, and now they have the nerve to criticize Donald Trump for trying to remove these bad actors. These immigrants are playing the long game. They hope that, they don't have to see a judge for 9 or 10 years, and within that time, another Democrat president will take over, probably grant blanket amnesty, and they'll be able to stay forever. And as I mentioned in almost every single video where I talk about illegal immigration, who do you think these people are going to vote for? The people who let them illegally come into the United States and stay, or the party that was actively trying to stop them and deport them? The Democrats don't care about how unsafe it makes the country. They don't care about how much it waters down the culture. In fact, they openly talk about, they think American culture is bad, it's toxic, toxic. It needs to be dismantled and rebuilt in a more equitable way. There are no other countries on earth besides virtue signaling Germany and the UK who will open their doors and allow infinite entry of people who want to overthrow their civilization, all in the name of virtue signaling and being seen as compassionate and accepting. Any other sovereign country with a culture, with customs, with history, with borders, looks at us like we are insane. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.